when you're sending your loved ones out on the road, from teen drivers to senior drivers. Make sure they're ready.
Is this hooked up to Netflix? This is streaming. Because it's inside. Yes, so that will play there.
That's where our friend Jeff lives.
The camera, the room will hear this. You'll be mic'd up. So it's a bit of the mic actually, because you understand that the mic is pick up. It's still there. I don't know.
He lives near the green.
It's been there more than 4 years.
I'm not going to try to cut it to the screen. I'm not that good yet to be able to add it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just about 310 beats.
Yeah, they're definitely closer to Scottsdale.
South.
Yes. Yes, there's no clear delineation. Yeah, but when we went to the movie, there was
That sounds new. I don't remember that being on.
it was far. It was definitely not like the downtown San Diego. It's very much open operation, which I appreciate. It seemed like maybe the person was just collecting and just decided to go there. Hey, I'm a small spot.
So which is fine. You can still
Maybe people will go. And if they don't,
So this is as good as we're going to get.
Yeah. It improved the whole area with what's available. The last 5, 6, 7 years.
He's been there probably 20 years, I would say. But it is, it does seem different. I'm not a fan. Flat. It's like urban sprawl.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's not aesthetically pleasing.
It's just it's all wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't belong. It's like when you're driving, you're like,
Hey everybody, thanks for making it out tonight. No, it's good. Whatever he's saying, you need to let. Eric gets to finish talking. When Eric Lombroso is talking about crypto, everybody should stop and listen. So. Thank you all for coming here tonight. I know that there's a lot of other things you could be doing on your weekend or your weekday nights, but this is going to be something that I think you're really going to enjoy. I've been friends with the CEO of this company for about 4 or 5 years now, and she's awesome. Her name is Marguerite. She goes by Coin Artist on Twitter, coin_artist. It was in the description of tonight's event, and she has been working on producing this game called Neon District, and tonight we have a guest with us, Chris Chapman, and he's going to be talking to us about how they've been integrating blockchain aspects of the game, and we're going to find out what Neon District is really about. I think you guys are really going to like what this game is all about. So on a side note, yesterday I was at the Blockstack Summit, and Blockstack is working on Web 3.0 related solutions. So basically user-centric solutions for people. So instead of your data being stored in a centralized repository or at a company like Facebook, you bring the data that you want them to see, and then you share it with them, and then you take that when you leave, supposedly. So it's supposed to create more of a private web, and so there were some really great speakers there yesterday, like Andres Antonopoulos, and it was in San Francisco. So I've flown up just to see that and turn back around, because I think when I was getting into crypto, part of what we were talking about was more power to the people and freedoms for people, and part of that is privacy. And I think that's what these guys are working on, and they've been doing it for a couple of years. So I'm definitely interested in getting them to come down in 2020 to talk to the group about what they're building and how a future is going to look like, where we have more control over our own privacy and data. So data dignity is a big thing right now, right? Being good with your data. And I love their slogan is "Can't be evil." So, and I don't know if you know, but Google used to say that they, do no evil, right? And so they basically took a billboard out and put it up across the street from their offices, and it said like, "Don't be evil," and the "don't" was crossed out, and it said "Can't be evil," as a reminder every day when they left work who they were working for and what their mission was. So you might be noticing like I'm wearing this weird pink shirt that, like, what is that? So this was from a project back in 2014 called Pink Coin. And Pink Coin started out doing like poker related stuff. And then they kind of became more of a charity related of blockchain. And recently it came to my attention that just yesterday, or the day before, one of the gentlemen who started the project took his own life. And so I just want to take a moment to remind everybody and people who are watching us from the internet that sometimes things seem dark and they seem like you might be at the bottom, but it's not always as bad as it seems. And there's always people that you can reach out to who will help you. And I know that we all go through difficult things in life, and I understand that mental illness can be something that's not easy to talk about, but it's becoming more and more pronounced in society, and it shouldn't be something that we just let go by. So I just wanted to bring that up because it saddens me that this person decided that they thought that was their only option when life gets bad. And so I want people to know that if they ever want to reach out to me, I'm here for people. And I know that there's people in local communities that they would be more than happy to make the time to sit down with you and talk with you, because when we lose somebody who's good for the community, it hurts us all. We're a small community and it's tough enough as it is, and we need as many good people as we can. So to spin this back up on a good higher note, I'm going to introduce Christopher Chapman, and he's going to talk to us about how blockchain and gaming and what Neon District is doing and how you guys can partake in this and we can have some fun while we're also like ushering in a new era. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, sir. All right. Hey, how are you guys? I'm Chris. I'm from Neon District. Wow, I'm all sad now. Okay, I'll pull out of this funk. It's okay. Go ahead, flip it over. And I'll talk about me to get out of the funk. So maybe. Uh-oh.
You're just supposed to hit the space bar, right? Bing.
Technical difficulties.
Where's plus and 1? I just want to move forward.
All right. So while he's doing that, I will just talk about Blockade games and Neon District in general. So we are, like he was saying, started by Marguerite 100 million years ago. She's awesome. If you don't know her, you need to know her. And she brought me in specifically to help with plasma bears. Do you guys know what plasma bears is? No. Oh man, you're missing out. All the cool stuff. Anyway, she brought me in to help them with that, and then she was like, "Oh shit, you're pretty good at this. Why don't you come help us on Neon District?" I was like, "Okay, I can do that." And so I've been doing it for about almost a year now, working with the team, and like it's awesome. Like it had me at cyberpunk, right? It's a cyberpunk RPG strategy inspired by Final Fantasy. It's got some like flavors of Darkest Dungeon and Summoner's War, like all these kind of really cool tactical strategy games. And so it's got a lot of that flavor underneath. And I'll talk about sort of how the design has shifted in the last year, which makes for a super interesting story, especially for people with keys, founders keys. Yep. And so, anyway, she brought me in to Blockade Games. That's me. Made me the executive producer, which means that I have my fingers in all the different pies, right? Let me rewind. How many of you guys are gamers? Well, we'll start right there. Like that should be mostly everybody. Mostly everybody. All right. Game developers. Has anybody made games before? Yeah. What'd you make?
Nothing.
Oh, just like.
Tell them about your game, Chris.
The last thing I made was this really silly arcade game where you catch cats.
That's cool, dude. My first
Catch PCs.
my first game.
It's all
No,
about cats.
no shit. My first game like that I made that was an actual like somebody paid me money to make a game was a Bagel Bite toss game for Bagel Bites when their initial promotion came out and all that stuff. So it was this like shockwave game where you threw bagels into this guy's mouth. It was so terrible. It was so terrible. But it was hot though. This is like 1998 or whatever, right? Yeah, I know, right? Remember that candy stand, all that stuff. By the way, interrupt me all you want because I'm a scatterbrained freak. Keep me on task though if we need to. Why don't you kick over? We'll have to find a signal. Like I'll just be like, "Yo," and then that's when you switch or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Just yell at me next.
Next. Okay. So I've been making games forever. Like my first game that I didn't actually sell, but that I made was on a Commodore 64 it was in junior high. And for me, with all the gray hair, that was like a long time ago. And I actually got an award for it at the end of the year. They created an award for me. It was pretty cool. Like computer graphics. It was the first time it had ever been given out, all that stuff. It was pretty neat. And so I've, over the years, built lots and lots of stuff for lots of people. A bunch of UGC MMOs, UGC virtual worlds. Those are like, so Metaplace is UGC, Club Penguin has aspects. Decentraland, if you guys recognize Decentraland, I worked with the guys there last year, kind of helping get a lot of their initiatives off the ground. Plasma Bears, that's the cool thing I was talking about a second ago. That's Marguerite's baby. But yeah, I've been doing fun stuff for a while. Next. So Neon District, right? So I said it's a cyberpunk RPG, right? And nobody really outside the company knows the story yet, so you guys get to be the first ones to hear this, right? Go for it. So, like all great stories, it starts with a cataclysm, right? Because that's how you like you blow shit up and you gotta rebuild it, right? So everything dies, and it's basically like the intersection of climate change and nuclear war. Like it's all this stuff balled up in a thing. This terrible stuff happens, and then this huge period of time that I'm not going to tell you what happens, but like stuff, cool, important stuff that you learn about in the story eventually happens. And when you end up, if you want to kick that, is all of humanity gets scattered, right? And they get pulled back together. And this is actually Vancouver. Don't tell anyone that, but it's basically Vancouver. And what happened is you have this cyber city thing. In the middle there is called Unity, right? It's Unity City. And in Unity, it's basically the machines have, like it's the UBI utopia, right? Like the machines do all the work and people just like sit and chill and drink cocktails and chat and brunch, all that stuff. And so it's like this ultimate utopia. But the method behind that is I can't tell you that. All right. Anyway, trust me, there are cool reasons why it's this utopia. And so sort of as a countering force that all this stuff, we went away. There we go. So all this stuff outside here is Neon District. And while everything inside of Unity City there, actually you want to kick the next one? I think this is, oh, by the way, this is the first time I've ever given this part of this whole presentation. I've kind of cobbled together like our investor one and our player one and our blockchain gaming one. Like I took all these pieces from all these places. So when we hit a next slide, your guess is as good as mine, basically, what it is. So anyhow, so this is Unity City over here, right? It's got this big wall around it, and all the cool stuff is in there with the machines, and they're just like, hey, let's brunch. And everything out here is the Neon District, which is where the corporations basically run all this. These 5 big corporations battle for control over Neon District, effectively, right? And so they are the ones who are designing and sort of building and inventing and doing and creating and all the products that go inside Unity. So it's super lucrative for them to win a contract or whatever, and every year there's this thing called the allocation and blah, blah, blah. So out here, super cutthroat, everybody's kicking everybody's ass to try to get, you know, more money, more whatever. Inside, you know, utopia, right? And what was that?
I said Amazon.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, basically. So this is Yume Engineering. These guys are one of the 5 corporations. So this is kind of what the inside of Unity looks like. These big towers and all these corporate things. Okay, next. And then Neon District is super bright and it's chaos and danger and people get mugged all the time. It's just awesome. So where that takes us is season 0, right? So we're doing Neon District in seasons, meaning right now we've got it plotted out to be out every 6 months. And we're gonna basically take the game from sort of season 0, which is our prototype founders only. So you're officially a founder, by the way, because you have a key. He has a founder's key. I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, so it's our, I know, right? Dude, I found that out. I was like, yes. So we've got the season 0, which is sort of like an internal alpha, like a private alpha, specifically for our founders, like our special group of people. And so that we could sort of exercise a lot of the stuff, because we're integrating a lot of free-to-play things with blockchain, and it's just like chaos ensues. There's a lot of terrible things that could happen. And so we're trying to like stepwise through all this stuff. So season 0 is like our closed alpha. And then season 1 is coming up in December. And then that's going to be sort of a single-player tactical RPG thing. And then season 2, which is going to be next summer, is where we start doing multiplayer, right? So we're talking co-op right now. We might sneak some PvP in there. I don't know, but it's going to be, that's when we start doing multiplayer stuff. From an engineering perspective, it's already built client server because we've got multiplayer in mind the whole way. My background is MMOs, like this is where we're going, right? So it's going to be funny. It's going to be a single-player game that has multiplayer tech underneath, but nobody knows, right? It's pretty funny. So you want to kick over the next one?
The next one is gonna say play the video.
Oh, let's play the sweet video. Nice. So I get to show you the sweet video about season 1. So this is season 1. So actually, I'll talk about it in a second. I'll let you watch it first. So this is going to roll through basically a whole high level of the alpha that we had this past summer. So it's going to hit through a bunch of the different parts.
This is gameplay?
That was gameplay, yeah. That's super important. I'll tell you about that in a second. more into gameplay. Remember, this is the pre-alpha gameplay stuff that is right here. I'll show you secret, hot new stuff.
All right, my new shiny oracle friend. Let's find that bastard. The good news is that he forgot to disable your share, for an hour or so anyway. Somehow, pro. Its last map ping was in the old subway, so we can start right here.
More bad guys. So super funny part about this scene, I'm going to spoil it. That's a bar counter right there. So the size, they're like midgets, right? Because they're not even bar height. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's inside a bar. Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell anybody you saw that though.
Everyone ready?
It's terrible inventory. Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Woo. I promise it's almost over. So this is your rating corporate stuff. Yeah, here's the last. We got the great big tentacly arm guy. Remember the tentacly guy. We'll talk about him later too. All right. Swap back. So that was actually, that video there was shot by one of our founders, so one of these key holder guys that are our biggest fans. He actually went through and played, and he was the one playing all of that and take the video and was like, here, have this. And so we put it on our Steam page. We're just like, oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. So this was the first scene, right? And what this is because in Neon District, you have these things called, or everyone who's in Unity City, right, has a share, and it stands for something, but it's basically like Black Mirror stuff, right? That's why there's all these weird fake ads and stuff everywhere, and you can comment and review on like it's this AR Black Mirror total ganky thing. And so in this guy's like, oh, hey, dude, I'm going to whack you and take your share, right? Because he's in Neon District now. He left Unity into the terrible place. And so this guy's, he's messing around with his cog, doing like evil hacker stuff, and he stumbles on him and he's like, oh, hey, you've got a share. I'm going to take it. So I'm going to switch to the next one. And so that's basically what this comic book panel is. He's like, oh, I'm going to take your share, which is your data, right? How we were talking about Blockstack and how data private, blah, blah, blah. So these shares are connected to, the compact and all these things. And so he's basically data hijacking this dude right here in this alley. And so then here is after you go through sort of the tutorial part and you learn how to do combat and all these things. And the way the game plays with the back and forth is it's basically turn-based, and you have these abilities. That's what these little things over here are, right? And it's very deterministic in the way it's designed, meaning you click on something, it's going to do exactly that much damage or that much stealth or whatever. And so it's you can see who has what abilities, and so you can basically, it works kind of like chess, where there is no, all the information is symmetric, right? And so everybody has all the information, and so you can kind of just, it's whoever can plot their way best through that, whoever's the best chess player, really, is kind of how this works. So when
Turn-based combat?
Yeah, turn-based combat, right. And so when we ran this by our founders, they were just like, this is kind of like, because once you get it to a point to where you've got a lock and a win, it's just like next. It gets super repetitive. So that was a huge piece of feedback, and so we had to, that was one of the big design changes we made that I'll show you later. But this thing over here is one of the fancy things we have. They're called environmental objects. It's a terrible name, but we can't think of a better one. And those are things that are, think of them like puzzles. So you've got this turn-based thing that's going on where you're battling these guys, but this thing over here is on a timer, and after 5 turns, it's going to explode and kill everybody. And so you've got to figure out how to, fight the dudes and disarm the thing, because some of your people are really good at disarming and others aren't. Like, so and we can add these cool sort of puzzly things in there along with, like right alongside with the combat. What now?
Why not take the fight somewhere else if it's gonna
Right? Yeah, that would be a smart thing. Except Darius Twigs, man, he's got your data. You got to go get it. Anyway, next. And so this one is just kind of showing off like this big bad boss person here. So the after our founders program, which was kind of where we ran through this season 0 thing, we had an auction and we sold that boss, the boss level of the tutorial. And so Alex Amsel, do you guys know who Alex Amsel is? He's Silly Tuna on Twitter, I think. He's a game developer. He did, oh shit, I just lost it. And he's gonna kill me because I just forgot it. Euphoria. Aha, there we go. Whew. What happened?
I don't know, I wasn't touching anything, it just...
Did I step on something? I don't think so. Maybe I tapped this. Anyhow, so he did a sweet console game that got lots of awards and all this thing. He's a super smart guy, super great. Game developer. He actually bought that character. So we auctioned the NFT off. So there's only one NFT, and it's this boss character. And so now he wants to take this boss and like allow other games to use them as a boss, so he can be a celebrity asset. So like the Age of Rust guys can bring it in, or we were talking to a bunch of people about just like, oh hey, let's sneak that in and have it be a surprise guest in this game or whatever, right? And so he totally wants to just take this this big tentacle thing and make it a like a celebrity.
I don't know. Just
No more HDMI.
decided to
Does
stop.
the computer still have power?
Yeah. I was just in there. I literally just decided to stop working.
We unplug the HDMI and plug it back in, see if it detects.
Unplug both
Is it
sides.
this thing?
I mean, that's how I got it started initially. It just blinked when I unplugged it.
The signal. Oh, nope. Oh, that's a bummer. We haven't even got to the cool blockchain parts.
I have a question about the celebrity assets.
Yes.
Has that ever been done by anybody?
No. Super new stuff. Like nobody's.
That was like what Rare Pepe's was all about. I don't remember Rare Pepe's.
Yeah, I remember Rare Pepe's.
One counterparty to have assets that would be built into other games so that you
It's like the
collect
thing in the
those
wall
assets.
just died.
Those were like early precursor NFTs, right?
Yeah. And if you think about that, lots of NFTs are unique. It's kind of their cool jam, right? And so you could technically do it with any NFT if you wanted to.
So it's basically the matter of talking another game developer into, okay, when you see this
Right.
signature come in,
Exactly.
they prove they
Yeah.
own that, give them access to this part of the program.
Yep. Yeah.
This
Well,
game.
it's really, you have this bundle of independent data that's out there, and so you can go to the game developer and say, hey, here's the data, use it how you want to do it, and here's all the cool art and where all this stuff lives. And
Like if, let's say
Yeah.
you had a game, a driving simulator. You give them access to a car that or skin that looks like that, and a special car, or whatever,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, well, that'd be sweet. Like, you just like texture map it on the car. That'd be totally cool.
Or special powers,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about, when you're saying you're selling these NFTs, are you talking about selling that specific digital asset, or are you talking about selling maybe like the trademark for whatever this boss is called? Like, is it just
It
that
is.
picture of the boss that you're selling?
It
or
is him as an entity. So with his data and his art
it's
and
like,
all of
if you were like Mickey Mouse or something.
all of this,
like, you
yeah.
can't use this guy because I own this guy. Here's my NFT.
Yeah, basically, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, which is super because we're very like copyright friendly. Like, here, just use our stuff. We don't mind. More people that know about our stuff, we think it's a good thing. But yeah, anyway, the boss is a badass. So I'll bring it. We'll go through the founders.
One question.
Yeah.
The boss is an NFT on what? Is it on Ethereum?
Yeah, he's in Ethereum. Yep. Yeah. So we gave away a bunch of founders keys last spring, like April-ish, when we had our initial sort of founders sale. And so what we did is we gamified the pre-sale is kind of what it was. It was really like a pre-sale. So in order to participate in this sale, you had to have a founder's key. In order to get a founder's key, all you had to do is say, I'd like a founder's key. That's it. That's all you had to do, and you get one. Then what we did is we sorted them and put them in order because, we could do that on the blockchain, right? And so the more people you invited to get a key, the further up you would go in this list, right? And so the guy who actually got the number, and we also allowed you to just buy your way to the top of the list if you wanted to. But funny enough, like most of the people with the top keys, they referred their way there. Like the top guy just wrote a blog post and had everybody share it and put his referral ID in there, and just got like tons of people coming through. And it was super cool because then we could kind of, you kind of through and you find your biggest fans. They're either the ones that spent lots of money or did lots of work, right? Like these are the badasses. And so because that, they're all ordered and numbered. We've got God keys all the way down through roots and admins and users and all of that stuff. And so the more powerful your key is, the cooler the benefits are for it. And actually, let's flip to the next one and see. Let's see what this slide is. Oh yeah, there we go. This is where you can actually acquire. I bet this is where you got your key, right? So you guys can go out and just buy all these keys, all the different kinds or whatever. And if you have one, you get access to our founders program, so you can come in and play the game early.